Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Lennon. Welcome to Washington Reads. Today I'm going to be reading Priya Dreams of Marigolds and Masala, written and illustrated by Meenal Patel. This house is on a small street in a small city in the United States. It's the only house on the street with an Indian family. It's the only house on the street that has a garland of bright orange marigolds hanging in the doorway. It's the only house on the street with a family inside who passes around Rothley for dinner. It's the only house on the street where an old woman emerges in a colorful sari to pick marigolds from the garden. Priya rushes into the house after school. She hears the clang of metal pots and pans, smells simmering spices. Bobby Ba has already started cooking dinner, which she always waits for Priya to help make roti. Skipped a page. The kids at school didn't know what roti was until Priya explained it's a type of flatbread from India. Bobby Ba mixes the flour, water, and ghee to form a long rope of dough. Priya pinches off little pieces and rolls them into balls between her palms. Bobby Ba quickly rolls the balls out thin and round before cooking them on the stove and drizzling them with ghee. They do this together every day. And every day, Priya asks Bobby Ba, "What is India like?" Bobby Ba tells her India is the smell of roasted cumin and the masala at the spice market that tickles your nose. It's the sound of motorbikes whizzing by, mixed with the beep beep and a tuk tuk and the moo of a cow. It's the arches and domes on buildings and the grit of the streets. It's the hot sun on your face and the drenching monsoon rains. It's the rainbow of saris stacked to the ceiling in a shop and the quiet swish swish of a sari with every step. It's the taste of a steaming cup of cha that the chawala hands you and the warmth of his smile. It's the hustle and bustle of crowds of people going this way and that, and the mix of beliefs and traditions they carry within them. It's the marigolds strung up on the storefronts and the doorways of homes. Priya asks, "Bobby Ba, will you take me to India?" Bobby Ba replies, "Maybe one day we will be able to go there." Priya thinks for a moment. "Do you miss it?" "Sometimes, yes. But then I remind myself that India is here in the marigolds from our garden and the smell of roasted cumin. And the swish swish of your sari," Priya adds. Bobby Ba smiles. "India is with us in the things that we do every day." They sit down for dinner with the whole family and pass the roti. In the winter, when it snows, Priya notices that Bobby Ba doesn't go out in the morning because there are no marigolds to pick. Priya wonders if this makes Bobby Ba miss India even more. The next day at school, Priya makes little orange marigolds out of paper during art class. When the class crowds around to see what she is doing, she tells them about the marigolds and the masala and the beep beep of the tuk-tuks. One by one, they join in to make the longest garland of marigolds that Priya has ever seen. Bobby Ba's face lights up when she sees the garland of paper marigolds hung up in the doorway. Priya says, "The kids at school were excited to hear about India, and they helped me make this garland." Bobby Ba's smile grows even bigger. She gathers Priya up in her arms and says, "Sharing India with others is the very best way to carry it with you." Halfway across the globe is a house on a small street in a small city in Gujarat, India. It's one of many houses on the street that has a garland of bright orange marigolds hanging in the doorway. It's one of many houses on the street with a family inside who passes around roti for dinner. It's one of many houses on the street where an old woman emerges in a colorful sari to pick marigolds from the garden. I want to read the author's note really quick. So, author's note. I am an Indian American woman. I was born and raised in the United States, but my family is from Gujarat, India. When I went to India as an adult, I was struck by how it was both foreign and familiar to me. Many things that were a part of my childhood home growing up felt so different from others in the United States, but turned out to be so common in India. I kept seeing marigold garlands strung up and reminded me of my ba. When she lived with us in the United States, she would pick marigolds from our garden every morning to put in our mandir. I recognized the abundance of marigolds in India as a beautiful piece of my family's identity that we carried in our everyday lives. There were so many things like this: mandirs, images of familiar gods and goddesses, the rustling of saris, the smell of cha. All of these things that made me feel different in the United States were unnecessary to explain in India. They were part of everyday life. I had a wonderful life as a child, but I put up walls between all of my identities because I was afraid of being different. It wasn't until I was an adult that I realized how important it is to allow all parts of my identity to mix, to share all parts of me with people. I hope this book inspires kids to take pride in all their identities, all the unique threads that come together to make them who they are. I hope it inspires them to share their own unique cultures and to be curious about other cultures. Again, this was Priya Dreams of Marigolds and Masala.